starting, and now we just wait for a couple of minutes to check it's all working.
You just want us to talk normally?
Yeah, pretty much.
With swearies?
No.
Oh, okay.
There he is, Birmingham's favourite team manager, Stuart Dixon.
What?
What? I'm blue.
I just wonder what he's saying in that mic.
Stuart Dixon hasn't aged in 15 years.
That's fair.
Good evening then, ladies, gents, boys and girls, and whatever you decide to identify in June of 2024. Welcome to Shoot Some Shale, powered by D&D Media. Tonight we give you a watch-along from Plymouth versus the Berwick Bandits tonight. I'm just in the analysis role for a bit of a change, for a bit of a night off, but I'm delighted to say that you'll have Mr. Dylan Hodgetts on comms, and unfortunately we've had to give him a chance, but Alan is here as well. Good evening, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good evening. Morning.
How we doing, chaps?
Depends how entertaining this meeting is.
Absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to this one.
Good.
He's looking forward to it because he's not been sacked yet, so he's got at least another chance.
Yep.
He's had as many chances as Jack Smith at this point.
I'm the Jack Smith of D&D Media.
There's no Alan in D&D Media. Don't lie to yourself. Right, shall we have a look at the lineups for this one, fellas, while we've got a moment?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Racing starts in 7 minutes, so yeah.
Team lineups are up on the screen now, should come on any second. Can't believe this is our 13th watch along, to be honest.
I know.
I remember our very first one.
I'm glad you do.
Can't even remember who it was against.
No, absolutely not.
We've come a long way since then.
It's
Absolutely.
true.
Dan Palmer's not even aged today.
Well,
It's the air gel. It makes me look 5 years younger.
Absolutely.
how do we want to do these lineups, fellas?
Oh, no.
Palmer, do you want to do Plymouth and I'll do Berwick? And then, because
Hold on a second, because we've had an issue with... Oi, dickhead, shut up.
Apologies for any swearing from Mr. Palmer.
Yeah, sorry people.
Can't take him anywhere, can we?
Get if you're a snowflake, get a life.
Right, good God.
For Plymouth then, at number 7 is Jacob Hook. At number 6, he's won every Heat 2 at Plymouth this year, Joe Thompson. Returning at number 5, Benjamin Barker. Cal Newman rides at 4, Dan Thompson at 3, Alfie Bortel 2, and Troy Batchelor rides at 1, and that is Plymouth.
Palmer, man to watch?
Joe Thompson, because around Plymouth he's not bad. So yeah,
Al, man to watch.
Go for Dan Thompson. If he can bring the form that he has with Ipswich in the Premiership, I'm sure he'll be a tasty rider to watch here tonight against Berwick.
I'm going to go with Alfred Botel. Rider very capable on his day and not quite at the heights of last season this year yet, but you know, on his day he's more than capable, so why not today? For the Berwick Select, Lewis Kerr rides at number 1, just back from injury. Jason Edwards guests at number 2. Drew Kemp at 3, Daniel Hume at number 4, Zach Cook guests at 5 for the injured Rory Schlein, Freddie Hodder at 6, and Paul Stark guests at number 7. Palmer, man to watch for Berwick.
Drew Kemp tonight. I think he's not had the best start to the season, but he's starting to come into a little bit of form now, and you know, I think he's got points to prove, especially to Stuart Dixon. So yeah, he's my man to watch.
Alan?
There's something I wouldn't normally do, and I'm going to agree with Mr. Palmer. I'm going to go for Drew Kemp. Just because I think he's had a good few meetings where he's had some good performances, and if he can show what he's actually capable of, I'm sure he'll be a very good rider to watch tonight.
I'm going to go with Jason Edwards. Didn't have the best night last night for Sheffield, but other than that has been in some decent form this season. And I think he'll kick on tonight riding at number 2. He's more than capable of beating anybody on his day. As we wait for the teams to push out from the pits, we'll bid a farewell for now to Mr. Palmer.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Score prediction.
Go on then, Palmer, score prediction.
42-48, Berwick win.
Very interesting to see what Kevlar's Zach Cook's got on there, making the use out of Kevies that he's not going to need to use anymore. Alan, score prediction.
I'm going to go 55-35 to Plymouth.
I'm going to say 54-36 to Plymouth.
Ooh.
We've also got Callum with us tonight. So, Cal, do you want to give a score prediction, Mush?
Oh, might as well, mightn't I?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, I think Plymouth will win, but it'll be closer than you guys are anticipating because Jason Edwards is just coming. Well, all 3 of the guests that Berwick have picked are all riders that have ridden for them in the past, so they all know the track a little bit. And Edwards was literally there last week and was our second best rider for Redcar. So I'm going to go for 48-42 win to Plymouth.
They all know the old track. Let's not forget it was altered during the winter.
They say it was altered during the winter, but when you look at it, the racing's just exactly the same. No one's actually using that bank because it's just so tight and narrow. It's just everyone's using the same line still.
So Mr. Callum will be doing our programme tonight, so that Alan doesn't screw up the finer details.
Big thanks to Mr. Calfer. Calfer, is it?
All the riders coming round. Don't actually know what they're doing.
I think they're doing like a Dixon limp in there.
Well, half the team are injured. The team manager may as well be as well.
Fair point.
Jason Edwards rocking his red car Kevlars tonight. Zach Cook rocking his Birmingham ones. I'm surprised he's not set those on fire.
Well, he's got to make use out of them somewhere.
That's a fair point. I love that pull over top. It looks like I thought it was a hoodie then, not gonna lie.
It does actually make it look like it's blending into the race suit a little bit, which is quite good. I quite like it.
What Al said.
It looks like a polo shirt.
It does, it looks like a polo shirt, yeah. It looks like something, it looks like the 5's just been stuck on with like some sort of tape or something. So, slight different roles tonight. Alan will be calling the heats and the results. I'll be doing the commentary. Palmer's got a night off to revise for his theory. And everyone's doing a minute's silence. We've had so many of these on our watch-alongs lately.
It turns out Alan's PC has crashed, so until Al returns, would you like me to step in?
By all means, Mush. Alan needs to throw that PC in the bin.
Well, we do try telling him.
And this is the first of 2 watch-alongs this week. Again, Thursday. Palmer, what do we turn into?
We go back to being Oxford Speedway Radio.
With a watch-along to
So-
Oxford versus Ipswich.
So if you've not got a lot to do on Thursday night, by all means, listen to us talk a load of rubbish about Oxford Speedway and Ipswich Speedway and everything going on in the world on Thursday.
Do you want me to quickly look at the teams for that meeting? Because they're out on Ipswich's website.
Have Ipswich got Chris Harris and Scott Nichols in as a guest again?
They have not.
Wow.
Oxford, Rowan Tungate at 1, Charles Wright 2, Lewis Kerr 3, Matt Sayanowski at 4, Chris Harris at 5, that's why they've not got him. Eric Riss at 6 and Ashton Bowden at 7. For Ipswich, it's rider replacement for Jason Doyle at number 1, Dan Thompson at 2, Adam Ellis 3, Norwick Bladorn guests at 4, Emil Saivudanov goes at 5, Keenan Rue at 6 and Jordan Jenkins at number 7.
No, Scotty, that's quite interesting.
Yeah. The stream is now introducing us to the riders, but we've already had a look through the riders, so we don't need to do that again. Palmer's now going to take over as the heat caller and result caller if Alan doesn't come back.
While we're on the subject of Berwick, we would here at Shoot Some Shale, if we've got anybody watching, like to wish Rory Schlein the speediest of recoveries. Obviously having a crash at Scunny on Friday, not a nice thing to witness. And yeah, best wishes to Big Rosa Schlein.
Do you think that could be the end of his racing career now? They've said that it'll almost certainly be the end of his season. Could that be the end of his career though?
I'd be very surprised if it wasn't.
And our friend at Old Fan Power has decided to come out and criticise the track.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we lock that man in a coffin and bury him 20 foot underground?
Not a fan.
And then burn it? Yeah, no, not really a fan. No.
Bloody hell, Plymouth have got cheerleaders.
Right, that's me suggesting that to Godfrey on Friday. So, Dan, how do we make our crowds bigger? Let's get some cheerleaders.
Good to see Ben Barker back. Obviously missed Saturday's British final with injury after a crash here last week. Or last meeting. I think it was last week. Was it last week?
I want to say, yeah.
I think it was last Tuesday, weren't it? The first red car before red car went to pool.
That makes sense.
Is that
yeah.
Ben Trigger on the spanners for somebody there?
Yeah, it's Ben Triggs on the spanners for old Bob tonight.
Or as everybody else knows him, Daniel Hume, or Damien Hume to the uneducated among us.
Good to see there's a few Berwick fans travelled all the way down to Plymouth. Do not envy you one bit. Glad I didn't make the trip down because long trips don't like me very much.
And neither do the trains.
No, they do not.
So for the time being, Palmer will take over on heat calling and results until Alan returns. If he returns, or if he's smashed his computer up, which I'd do. Got two people watching at the moment.
One of them isn't me, so we have got a genuine viewer, so or two. So good evening to the viewers. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a lovely, lovely evening meal.
Yeah,
And
track doesn't look a lot different, does it?
it looks more of a speedway track now than what it did at 4:20 this afternoon. So fair play to them.
Just got the riders
Yeah.
ending their parade.
Which means we will be underway with the meeting very, very shortly. Couldn't tell you we won the toss and took whatever gates because we have to listen to these meetings on mute so we can bring you this lovely, lovely commentary.
And if you do want to watch it, Gladiators TV for $11.99, or just listen to us talk about it like an educated radio system.
Well, we say educated radio system. Alan exists and thinks he helps us.
That was nearly a mild panic.
Oh God, speak of the devil, and here he
I
is.
made it back in time for Heat 1. Thank the Lord.
Alan just didn't want me to work tonight.
It's shocking, isn't it? Don't worry, Palmer will be working on Thursday, and Alan will be the analyst on Thursday. So there is a God in the world. And you sort of have to feel a little bit sorry for Berwick. I think we all had Berwick doing relatively well in the league this season in our little pre-season prediction things that we had going on, and it's just not quite happened with injuries, has it?
No, it's been a tough time for the Bandits this season, and it's from no fault of their own. You know, injuries happen, and they've practically killed the Bandits season, to be fair. But the 2 minutes are on for heat number 1 now, so I'm going to turn my microphone off and enjoy listening to you guys talk about the meeting.
So we'll bring Alan in to announce heat number 1 once they're at the tapes. And it looks like Berwick are off 1 and 3.
Yep, that is correct. So, heat number 1 of the inside in the blue helmet colour will be Alfie Botel. In gate... no, they won't. Sorry, that's wrong. Jason Edwards will be off yellow in gate 1. At gate 2 in blue will be Alfie Botel. In white, gate 3 will be Lewis Kerr. And Troy Batchelor off the outside in the red helmet colour.
Paul Wheeler is the other one watching us. Evening, gents and Alan. Yes, Domino's would much rather a scunny beefeater. That beefeater in Scunthorpe opposite Premier Inn is beautiful, isn't it, Mr. Wheeler? Riders just doing their gardening ahead of heat 1. Track looks a bit dry actually, especially on gate 1.
Yeah, I think they're going to need to put some water down. Maybe once they put some water down after heat number 4, it might make it a little bit less of a dry looking Sahara Desert on that track tonight.
Start Marshal calling the riders into line. Troy Batchelor just clearing his goggles. Referees flashing the green light to get the Start Marshal to hurry up.
Ryder's not really keen to get to the start line very quickly, are they, Mr. Dill?
No, definitely not. Start Marshal gets him into line now. Alfie Botel, the last one to settle. Start Marshal raises his arms and walks away. Green lights on. Alfie Botel moves at the start and gains an advantage. I'd expect to see the red lights come on there.
Yep.
And the red flags are out. Alfie Botel will probably get a warning for that. Very lucky not to touch tapes if he did manage to avoid them there.
Must be close.
Yeah.
If he didn't touch them, it would be very close because he did get a bit of a jump.
Yeah, we could see that from head on. So, and again they give us head on. Ooh, that's close. I'd be interested to see the inside of that, but I don't think they've got an inside camera. So it looks like it's all full back. I'd expect there to be a warning for the rider in blue, Alfie Botel, and there is a warning for Alfie Botel.
Ryder's doing some more gardening.
If only they did a 200. Yeah, that beefeater would be beautiful if they did a nice takeaway service for a couple of hours away, wouldn't it? Riders settle again for the rerun of Heat 1. Alfie Botel will have to stay still at the start now as that warning will carry on through the meeting. Green lights on. And it's a pretty even break actually. And Lewis Kerr and both Berwick boys are there. Jason Edwards on the inside, Lewis Kerr on the outside. Troy Batchelor coming round the outside of Jason Edwards, now going a bit wide. And Jason Edwards just up the inside of him there. Troy Batchelor in third, Alfie Botel at the back. Missed the start. Lewis Kerr streaking clear out in front. And Jason Edwards is packed in second place. All the racing around the inside at the moment with Troy Batchelor trying to put pressure on Jason Edwards, but just not quite there. Looks like he's got the speed just early on. Oh, he's coming up the inside now, just has to shut off there so he doesn't go into the side of Jason Edwards. Little bit of a grip there, and Troy Batchelor's through. Jason Edwards sent wide by a little bit of grip on bend 3, and Batchelor comes through to salvage second place for Plymouth. But it's going to be a 4-2 to open things up for the Bandits, with Lewis Kerr taking the win, Troy Batchelor second, and Jason Edwards in third.
It's an excellent win there for Lewis Kerr, with Troy Batchelor in second and Jason Edwards in third. That 4-2 makes scores 2 to the Plymouth Gladiators and 4 to the Berwick Bandits after one heat. Some good racing there in heat number 1 between Batchelor and Jason Edwards there, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, well, too bad. Lewis Kerr made a really good start off gate 3 and got out in front. Jason Edwards just caught a little bit of a rut or something, which straightened him up on bend 4 on the third lap and allowed Batchelor through for second place. But Edwards will be happy with that. And Alfie Botel just missed the start and got shut out of it on the first turn. Won't be happy with that. But it's a good start for the Bandits, who are very patched up this evening.
Yeah, they're pretty patched up this evening. It'll be tricky for them, but not a bad start for a patched up Bandit side. Just seen a rerun of heat number 1 here, by the looks of it.
Beautiful gate from Lewis Kerr, just drives. And Jason Edwards curb crawls around the first bend, moves wide towards Batchelor on the back straight of lap 1 and does get ahead for the early knock-ins. Good ride, but just catches that little bit of grip, and Batchelor's able to salvage second place. Alfie Botel not very close actually, he was a little bit tailed off even at the end of the first lap.
I think he was struggling a little bit with track conditions there, but I think he'll make a few adjustments and I'm sure he'll get better as the meeting goes on. As we move into heat number 2, and in red of the inside gate we have Joe Thompson. In white of gate number 2 is Freddie Hodder. In off gate 3 is Jacob Hook. And off the outside in the yellow helmet we've got Paul Stark.
This is an interesting one. Palmer with the stat early on in the introduction. Joe Thompson not being headed in a Heat 2 around Plymouth this season. He'll be hoping to carry that one off the inside. A gate which Jason Edwards made a relatively good start from in the first race. This Plymouth pairing is one of the stronger reserve pairings numbers-wise in the league as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them jump out the start here.
Yeah, I would think this will be expected for a Plymouth heat advantage somewhere, I reckon, in this heat.
So the start marshal walks away, green lights on, and it's a relatively even break. Joe Thompson drives to the first turn and Jacob Hook's there with him. Freddie Hodder has to take avoiding action to stop himself going down, and Plymouth do get away on a 5-1 in the early knock-ins. Joe Thompson in the lead. There's a little bit of a patch on bend 3 and 4 there. Riders catching it again. Jacob Hook riding a good ride in second place. Paul Stark's out of shape and Plymouth should just bring this home. Freddie Hodder got a little bit square in the first and second turn and is out the back. Paul Stark hits that patch again, and the Plymouth boys are just pulling away nice and easily in this heat number 2. One of the stronger reserve pairings in the league, and have been really good at home actually as well. Joe Thompson streaking clear. The move to Plymouth has probably settled him down really nicely. Jacob Hook settled in second place. A little bit disappointing for Paul Stark, who you know, coming into this race, is the most experienced rider by a considerable margin. But Joe Thompson brings it round for the win, and Jacob Hook in second, Paul Stark third, and Freddie Hodder's just crawling round off the fourth bend.
That was an excellent win for Joe Thompson in red, with Jacob Hook in second and Paul Stark in third. That 5-1 to Plymouth makes the score should actually be 10-2, but unless I've got that mistaken in my mind. I
No,
believe I must have done. No? Am I right in saying 10 points to 2?
no, it's 7-5.
No. 7-5. Okay, I got that wrong then. My apologies, my math not very good on that heat. It is 7-5 to the Plymouth Gladiators after 2 heats. My apologies.
And with Plymouth, you never know what you're going to get. You could get a track grade after 4, you could get a track grade after 2, you could get one after 3. Their mascot's gone and sat down by the cheerleaders, making himself some new friends, doing a little bit of a Mexican, well, a half wave, because half of them didn't bother getting up. Riders are on track for heat number 3.
As they come round to the tapes for heat number 3. I think that's Daniel Humes, the first rider to the tape.
Big up Bob.
So, we got Bob. So, in heat number 3 of the inside in the white helmet colour, we've got Drew Kemp. In gate 2 in blue is Kyle Newman. In yellow off gate 3 is Daniel Hume. And off the outside in the red helmet, we've got Dan Thompson. The question is, can Dan repeat what Joe did in heat number 2 and prove he's not the weaker of the two brothers?
I don't think it really matters, to be honest. They're both in the same team. They're, you know, they're both having a really good season. I think as long as the team does well, I don't think the brotherly rivalry will be there between teammates. Start Marshall bringing them to order. You've got to fancy Carl Newman in this one. Of the 4, he's probably the most experienced rider, but Dan Thompson's having a really good season, and it looks like an uphill task for Berwick again. Start Marshall walks away, tapes fly, and it's a good start for Daniel Hume. Carl Newman pegs it to the inside, Daniel Hume goes for mid-track, and Hume gets around the outside of Carl Newman. Newman on the inside, but just nothing there, and he's locked up. Hume's through, and Dan Thompson's in third, Drew Kemp at the back. Daniel Hume almost two-wheeling into the bends here. But Carl Newman does get the lead. Dan Thompson's all over the back of Hume, who's straightened up again, but Thompson did as well, so couldn't take advantage. Drew Kemp making no real impression and has actually given up at the back. And Hume's out of shape again. Thompson's through, and that's probably all she wrote. Every corner Daniel Hume's got out of shape. Carl Newman streaking away. Dan Thompson through for second. Daniel Hume's fell off.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh dear, he should have stayed at home. But it's coming around the last turn for the last time. Carl Newman takes the win, Dan Thompson second, and I think Drew Kemp gets the Daniel Hume absolute disaster.
That was a great win there for Kyle Newman in blue. Second place was Dan Thompson in red, and Drew Kemp in third in white. That 5-1 to the Bandits makes the score. To the Plymouth Gladiators. That makes the score 12 to Plymouth, 6 to the Berwick Bandits after 3 heats.
Maximus is having a stroll around. Gary May congratulating Dan Thompson. Joe Thompson out there as well. Daniel Hume will be absolutely fuming with that. So after 3 heats, it's Plymouth 12, Berwick 6, and it's 49 points to 52 for the aggregate point.
Yeah, I think Daniel Hume will be a bit disappointed there. It made a good start and then just was out of shape, and every corner just out of shape. and then just lost it in that last lap.
Yeah, he's already locking up there. And again there. Yeah, it's just scrappy. Yeah, not ideal. Carl Newman looked accomplished, not quite done what you'd expect around the track, and you know, he's at a second string position, so you'd expect him to be a bit better. I'm surprised him didn't go down there, to be honest. Absolutely all over the place. Carl Newman untroubled. Dan Thompson says thank you very much, and then Hume just loses all his grip, goes down, tries to get back on to come on in front of Drew Kemp, who suddenly decides to carry on racing, although he's just tootling around himself. And the Gladiators untroubled, and Stuart Dixon will be absolutely fuming.
Well, he'll have seen Hume go down there and he'll just be shaking his head, not working out what's going wrong. Oh,
it looks like we've got a track grade, so we'll bring Dan in for a quick update on what's happened in this meeting so far.
Yeah, hi people, I'm back. Not been sacked, so doing something wrong. Well, this has been a bit of a weird meeting so far, hasn't it?
absolutely. Plymouth actually winning, which we no, I don't think any of us predicted from the start.
All
You
of
three, you three predicted Plymouth would be winning. I didn't.
God.
Sorry, yeah, I got that wrong.
Oh God.
I think I'll just go now.
Well, at least you're honest, though.
And I think with
This gig's tougher than it looks, folks.
and with the track grading on, we'll take a quick breather. Mark Phillips driving the tractor around there. He needs to be on the water bar, so it looks dry.
What's this?
A little bit of water
Things
on
on
that.
the track?
So we are watching the tractor racing at the moment, or one of them. Joe Thompson's sat in his pits, probably playing Speedway Challenge.
Can you blame him?
Well, it's an addictive game.
That it is. Can't confirm I played it while I was at work today.
Mark Phillips has just dragged off the track.
I want to know what that thing is on the back of his tractor.
It's something metal.
Wow.
Shocking,
As
isn't
you
it?
can see here on Shoots and Shale, powered by D&D Media, you only get the best of information from us.
We'll thank Mr. Palmer for his input and bring him back in at the next track grade as Ben Barker gets ready to come out for his first ride. Plymouth just plugging all their sponsors, which you've got to do. Keep the sponsors happy. And Al, what you made of the racing so far? So I imagine Plymouth's not a team you watch too often, is it?
No, not particularly, but it's been a little bit scrappy. I think it's going to need a little bit of improvement over the next few heats. If Berwick want to get back in this, they've been a little bit scrappy in the first few. Yeah, so certainly think it'll make for some interesting heats as the night goes on.
Mark Phillips has jumped off the tractor and into the water truck. He's a one-man band. These pits are so strange. Look, you got Bob there chilling in the corner. A very strange pits area. And as we say, we'll be back on Thursday with another watch along. Alan will be doing the analyst role for that meeting and also keeping an eye over the Leicester and Kings Lynn meeting, I think it is. Or Kings Lynn and Leicester, whichever way around it is. But I think it's those two teams. Interesting to see the statement released by Kings Lynn today saying Tobias Michalak will be taking another 28 days out and they've been granted a facility for him.
Interesting move, that.
I mean, it screams to me that he's been banned for 28 days.
We know a reason of why he's banned, or?
Because he's riding in Poland and too injured to ride in England.
Oh, okay.
It's more of that water came out the truck then when Mark Phillips reversed it down the little ramp. The track looks a bit better now and the sun's out. Stop the world. But at least these have got a chalk machine type thing.
They're not using the chalk cup.
No, no cups in Plymouth. Tapes coming down for heat number 4. First appearance of the night of Zach Cook, who actually started his British career with Plymouth back in 2021, I want to say. Decentish crowd in, to be fair. Few people here watching. And there's the referee, Wayne Jarvis.
They just built him a hut in the car park at the back just to...
It's not the ideal place, is it? Make a decision the fans don't like and they're all gathered around outside the ladder down from it. Two minutes is on, 1 minute 30 seconds left. Zach Cook coming round to the start now. Ben Barker will be looking to have a much more sturdy night after coming off last week.
Yeah, he'll be hoping for a more steadier night as we head into heat number 4. And off the inside gate in the yellow helmet, we've got Paul Stark. In gate 2 in blue, we've got Jacob Hook. In white, off gate 3, we've got Zach Cook. And off the outside in the red helmet, we've got Benjamin Barker.
Interesting looking lineup here as well. Paul Stark, not overly impressive in his first one. Jacob Hook on the other one, very impressive in his first one. And I'm expecting a good battle between Zach Cook and Ben Barker off the outside. And obviously, Al, you've got eyes over this one with Paul Stark being a Glasgow rider this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping Paul can have a better ride than his first ride out. He's not been terribly impressive this year, even at Glasgow, so he's got his work cut out, and I'm hoping he can use tonight to get himself some experience for when we do travel down to the old Coliseum, take on Plymouth in the near future.
Start Marshall brings them to line. Zach Cook lining up right on the outside of gate 3. Ben Barker in the middle of gate 4. Nice big gap in the middle. Start Marshall walks away. Tapes fly, and it's a really good start from the rider in white. Zach Cook sends Ben Barker wide, which is where Barker will like to be. He loves that outside line, but Zach Cook takes the early lead. Ben Barker in second place, just shutting off a little bit. There's perhaps not as much grip around the outside as Barker's used to. Zach Cook is now streaking away. Paul Stark at the back with Jacob Hook settling into third place behind his teammate. But Zach Cook, this is an impressive ride from the Australian. Recently lost his Premiership team. Didn't have the best meeting last week when we did the watch along for Paul either. Just lacking a bit of confidence off him, but this will do in the world of good. Pulling away, does know the Plymouth track like the back of his hand, having started his career here. Plymouth boys just happy to settle in second. Ben Barker's got no answer, and Paul Stark similarly has no answer to Jacob Hook. And it's going to bring around for a 3-all. Paul Stark's given up. He's just not interested at the back. Zach Cook tries to wheelie over the line, doesn't quite happen. And that's all she wrote for that one.
Excellent win for the rider in the white helmet, Zach Cook. Second place was Ben Barker for Plymouth, and third was his teammate in blue, Jacob Hook. A 3 each, and that makes the score 15 to Plymouth and 9 to Berwick.
And that was all done from the tapes really. Zach Cook nailed the start straight away. Ben Barker maybe a little tentative after coming back off a fairly big crash last week, so he was always going to be tentative in his first one. And Paul Stark just gave up on the last lap, which isn't what you want to be seeing.
No, it wasn't really. It's not been Stark's night so far from these two rides. And he's going to really need to get his skating gloves on if he wants to pull himself back in this meeting.
Paul Stark just went nowhere from the tapes. He just seemed to bog down and didn't really go forward. And it was all over there. Ben Barker trying to drift up to the middle of the track, then cuts back down, almost does Jacob Hook no favours by coming right in front of him. But then the two Plymouth boys just ride it out with Cook streaking away for an easy win in that one. Riders coming up to the start for heat number 5. Lewis Kerr was an impressive winner first time out actually, as was Carl Newman. So these two boys will be looking to see who can beat the other.
Yep, so in gate number 1 in the red helmet colour we've got Dan Thompson. In the blue helmet colour we've actually we've got a reserve.
No, that's the wrong race. They've just put the wrong graphic up.
Oh, my apologies.
There we
go. In yellow off gate number 2 we've got Jason Edwards. In blue off gate 3 we've got Carl Newman. And off the outside in white we've got Lewis Kerr.
So 3 riders in this race unbeaten from their first ride, and Jason Edwards would have been had he not caught that grip on Ben 4. So this is a very tasty looking race here. Dan Thompson will be hoping that gate 1 works better for him than it did for Paul Stark in the last race. Start Marshal calling the riders forward. Jason Edwards the last one to settle. Walks away. And it's a good start for the rider in yellow, Jason Edwards, who's made the trap. And Lewis Kerr coming around the outside. And Berwick Gate on a 5-1 again, this pairing. Lewis Kerr has to shut off going into Ben 3 and has to clamp down onto Dan Thompson. And he does successfully. Carl Newman's at the back at the moment. The two Plymouth boys racing each other. The two Berwick boys streaking clear as the dust flies. And we can just about see the action between the dust. Jason Edwards keeping it tight. Lewis Kerr a little bit out of shape, and Dan Thompson he's putting a little bit of pressure on him. But if Lewis Kerr holds this inside line, I don't think there'll be a way through for Thompson. Carl Newman disappointingly out the back. There's no real second line at the moment. It's all around the inside, and that's where everyone is. So there's obviously no opportunities for passing, barring mistakes. Although Lewis Kerr does keep locking up on bends 3 and 4. Bit of lift for Dan Thompson. Lewis Kerr again locks up and hits a rut on 3 and 4. He opens the door, just clamps off Thompson. Lewis Kerr shakes his head as he comes over the line, does not look happy with that turn 3 and 4, and it's a 5-1 for Berwick.
Absolutely, and it was a win for the rider in yellow, Jason Edwards, backed up by the rider in white, Lewis Kerr, and in third place was the rider in red. At 5-1 to Berwick now makes the score 16 for the Plymouth Gladiators, 14 for the Berwick Bandits.
Lewis Kerr does not look happy with the track. He's just come down the home straight shaking his head. And there is definitely a rut or something catching the riders out on the third and fourth bend. He eat that every single time in that race. Daniel Humes hit it as well. And Jason Edwards caught it in his first one. So there's definitely something wrong in that part of the track. That was all essentially done from the start. The two Bandits boys get the best of the start. Carl Newman just bogs down. And Dan Thompson gets clamped on the inside, and that was pretty much all she wrote. There we go. Oh, we're going to need another one before we get some more tractor racing.
Yep, as we move into heat number 6. Off the inside in the white helmet colour, we've got Zach Cook. Gate 2 in the red helmet colour, we've got Troy Batchelor. In in yellow off gate number 3 is Freddie Hodder. And off the outside in blue, we have Alfie Botel.
Interesting looking heat. This one, the score's looking a bit more respectable now. After that 5-1 back for the Bandits, Batchelor will be looking for a better race than he had in his first one, and the Bandits actually pull ahead again on for the aggregate point. Taking their time at the starts tonight, though, Al.
Yeah, they're not really fans for getting keen to get up to the starts. The ref's going to have to have a word with these riders and tell them they need to get up to the tapes quicker, or they're going to find themselves getting exclusions.
Look at that rut on the inside. If that gets any deeper, you're going to need a ladder to get out of it. So Start Marshall walks away, looking very excited to do that. And it's a good start for the rider in white, Zach Cook. Freddie Hodder gets the rough end of it again in the first turn. Alfie Botel going around the outside and straight around the outside of Zach Cook. Alfie Botel takes the lead with Zach Cook in second. Troy Batchelor there in third. And Alfie Botel really the first rider that's made that outside line work tonight. Zach Cook keeping it low, Batchelor keeping it low. Alfie now switches back to the inside. But he's definitely got speed this time. And Freddie Hodder just copped the rough end of it in that first turn. But Alfie Botel leads from Zach Cook in second and Troy Batchelor in third. Batch all over the back of Zach Cook, but just can't quite find a way through. Zach lifts, just gets it down under control. Batch is going a bit wider now, but there's nothing really out on Ben 3 and 4. He's cutting back out. Zach just clamps it down. Batchelor's got the speed, and you get the feeling he's getting a little bit frustrated being stuck behind Zach here. Batch is going to have one more go, sends it wide, trying to go around the outside of him, and he's done him. I think he's just done him on the run to the line there.
It's going to be a very close finish, that one.
That'll be one for the referee to decide. Wonder if transponders are working here tonight. Batch was clearly the quicker of the two riders there, but you get the feeling a little bit frustrated behind Zach, who lifted and killed his momentum. That was very tight on the run to the line.
Interesting to see which way it goes.
I
think they've got the 5-1.
I'd be interested to see if the inside camera angle on that one. And they have got the 5-1. The refs awarded them the 5-1.
Yep, with that lovely win for Alfie Botel. Second place, Troy Batchelor getting it on the line there with Zach Cook in third and Freddie Hodder at the back. That 5-1 makes the score 21. The Plymouth Gladiators, 15, the Berwick Bandits.
Freddie Hodder's copped some really rough first turns. Start Marshall looked really happy then. Freddie actually makes a really good gate and then just gets sandwiched between the two Plymouth riders. And that's essentially his race run there. Obviously at a track like this there's no real room for error. Zach will be frustrated to have let that second place go. Did look quick, but just getting caught out by the track a little bit. Line maybe moving out a little bit now. Alfie looked miles quicker then out in front, made a good gate, and it was as you wrote there. Zach just lifts there and allows some room for Bachelor to close in. Thought he was going to do him on the inside, but Zach was wise to it. But round the outside, committed to that outside pass. Zach a little bit defensive, and yeah, Batch got that. Back, oh, we're not got any tractor racing yet. Straight on to heat 7.
Yep, heat number 7. In the red helmet off gate 1 is Benjamin Barker. In white off gate number 2 is Drew Kemp. In blue off gate number 3 is Joe Thompson. And off the outside in yellow off gate 4 we've got Daniel Hume.
Hume will be looking for a better race than last time out. Got himself into a good position and then ended up stacking it. Joe Thompson will be full of confidence after his first one as well. Ben Barker, hopefully he'll have got a little bit of confidence back now after his first ride and no injuries. That's a funky helmet he's got on.
A very funky helmet indeed.
Still got 2 people watching. So the start marshal walks away. Green lights on. And it's a brilliant gate for the rider in bed. Ben Barker absolutely anticipated that but didn't move. Red lights are on. Oh, that's harsh. I think he just got the... Oh, Drew Kemp's... Oh!
Carnage!
Drew Kemp's gone straight into the back of Ben Barker there.
Oh,
And
that's not good.
Drew looks hurt as well. The slowing down period, it just got a little bit tight and Ben Barker's on the deck again. I'd imagine there won't be an exclusion for that because obviously the race had been stopped, so they weren't under racing conditions. Well, that's not what you want to see. Ben Barker just coming back from an injury. Drew Kemp probably carrying a bit too much speed down that straight as Ben Barker shut off in front of him, and Drew lifted, landed straight on his back and went into Ben Barker as well. Not ideal that. We'll bring Palmer in for a second while we've got this delay.
Yeah, hi chaps. That was pretty nasty.
Yeah, it was an awkward one, weren't it? Hopefully Ben's alright. Obviously we both get on with Ben. He's an okay fella. You know, and he follows our page. So
He does.
he does follow our page, so hopefully he's alright.
As you say, you know, we've got a lot of time for him, so hopefully, you know, he's alright, and we hope Drew's gonna be alright as well.
The front of that bike does not look fantastic.
It's seen better days, like. But hopefully Ben Barker's an ultimate professional and has a spare one at the ready.
For me, that didn't need to be stopped. Ben Barker anticipated it, but there was no movement or anything before it went. He just got it spot on. And controversially, if the ref had just let that go, we wouldn't have potentially 2 riders injured now.
I mean, I don't like to make many jokes on this page, but Drew Kemp looks constipated.
There's always one, isn't there?
Always one.
He does hit his back quite hard though. It could be a tailbone smack or something, which obviously are not pleasant.
But
Okay.
the good thing is Drew's like up on his feet. He's talking to Stuart Dixon and the medics at the moment.
I don't think anyone's really at fault there. Everybody just kind of come together down the back straight, slowing down. Some people obviously going a little bit quicker than others.
It's one of them. Plymouth naturally isn't a wide track, and you know, when you're all there, you're trying to slow your very, very fast bikes down, all going into the same piece of track. You know, there's going to be 1 or 2 that don't make it to the home straight.
I want to see someone take Maximus the Gladiator's bike for the spin.
If you can book me a flight down to Plymouth that will get me there in about half an hour, I will do such thing.
Drew's walking a bit gingerly there. And as we say, the race wasn't under racing conditions, it had been stopped, so obviously no disqualifications for that one.
Yeah, 100%. T-shirt coming soon. Drew's now explaining to the man there how to do the YMCA.
Hopefully Ben's alright. I'd say he's probably been on his backside on this track more this season than the entire rest of his career at Plymouth.
Yeah, possibly. He had a bad spell here last week as well, didn't he? And obviously had to pull out of the British final. And Mark Phillips is coming out on the tractor now. Hopefully he won't run his nephew of it. That wouldn't be very good. So we've got some gate stats.
Yeah. Relatively even across the gates. Ambulance is coming out for Ben Barker. That's not what you want to be seeing. So while we've got a minute, we'll take a quick breather. And while we've been gone for the past 7 or 8 minutes, absolutely nothing has happened.
No. Riders are gathered around the pit fence.
Just
And that's about it.
Just having a chinwag. Ambulance is still out with Ben Barker, which isn't what you want to see. I wonder if Mr. Robbo will stick a video out about this one.
Stuart Dixon looking at his phone, looking for the best takeaways to have when he gets out of Plymouth.
And Ben Barker, no, that's not Ben Barker, that's Carl Newman. It looks
Carl
like Ben
Newman,
Barker's in the ambulance because the ramp's down and stuff.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when Ben come down, Drew's bike hit his... I'd be very surprised if it didn't hit his leg quite hard.
Ben Trigger there talking to the Thompson boys. Injury rider replacement will now come into effect, and Gary Mayer's just pointed at Dan Thompson, so I'd imagine Dan will be coming in as the injury rider replacement for Ben Barker in the rerun of this one. Subject to confirmation. This is such a strange pits and viewing area, isn't it? Because the fans almost walk through the pits to get to the grandstand.
Yeah, they do.
So strange.
Not much a grandstand, to be fair.
Well, yeah, that's true. Whatever that is.
It's more of a grandstand than what most clubs have.
True, that's a very fair point.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Thanks.
Alan's feeling like Santa Claus and giving out gifts tonight.
Troy Batchelor, you are live on TV. If you could put your race jacket on, that would be great. Thanks. Oh, ambulance is reversing.
Now, is this a precautionary measure, or do we think this is off to the old A&E?
Yeah, we'll go to hospital. It's already carrying an injury coming into this. That was the last thing you needed. And the water truck's off.
Oh.
I thought they were just going to give him a water bridge to disappear to.
Oh, we could be in for a long evening here, gent.
We had to say it was going well, didn't we? We had to do it.
They
At
only
least the
got one.
cheerleaders haven't gone home.
Have they only got one ambulance at Plymouth?
No idea.
Probably.
Let's hope not, but there's no medics on the centre green.
I mean, Mark Phillips up at Plymouth is a bit of a tight man, so quite possibly. But we've got some cheerleaders dancing to entertain the crowd
I
before
thought you were going to say Mark Phillips was a tosser, because I would not have disagreed with you on that one.
Well, no, he is that as well, 125%. Mark, if you're watching, I'm not apologising for that because you're a tosser. And now we've got the Plymouth sponsors again.
And they do look after their sponsors. Obviously, Gladiators TV is worked on by somebody me and you know very well in Mr. Andy Haig.
Yeah, got a hell of a lot of time for Andy. Actually, he's a great bloke. He gave me a lot of support when I was on Scorpions TV, and a lot of support when I jacked Scorpions TV. To be fair, as well. So no, I've got a lot of time for Andy, and you know, he does the best streams in the business, in my valid opinion, which probably isn't that valid.
Paul Wheeler says Barker has no luck whatsoever. Poor git. Paul Wheeler's spot on. But now to the important thing, Mr. Wheeler. What did you have from that tasty beef eater in Scunny?
Yeah, we want to know this. I also want to know what he had from Mackey's the night before.
Crikey. Yeah, that beef. I mean, Palmer's beef eater when we went to Scunny was even better because I copped a bill for these drinks.
Not complaining, like.
Sod. Callum's unmuted because we can hear the cricket.
I also want to know why he never came to regular the night after as well.
He was too full from the Mackies and the beef eater.
He could have at least squeezed in a Parmo though.
Oh, love a good Parmo.
I need to do an old Scunny on a Friday, red car on a Saturday weekend next year.
Yes, you do.
I had the opportunity last year. Steph offered us to come down with him, and it just never happened.
I'll tell you what we'll do next year, my old mucker. If you come down to Scunny and there's a meeting at Redcar on a Saturday, we'll do the train to Manchester. To Middlesbrough, sorry, on a Saturday.
What a fella. We'll definitely have a look into that. We'll have to try and get Cal up to Scunny on the Friday, and then we'll all travel back down to Redcar together.
That sounds like an idea.
And then on the Sunday, we'll all go back up to Scunny to go down to the old holiday park in Cleethorpes down the road.
Yes, that's what you want.
Just turn it into a full weekend.
Gary May there talking to Jason Edwards about a potential deal for next year.
Or just saying, Ben Barker has no luck, does he, poor git? Because, you know, Paul Wheeler can read minds. So this is one of the rare opportunities that Alan gets to watch Plymouth. Al, what you thought of the track? I imagine you've not overly seen it too much.
Not gonna lie, it's not my favourite track. It's been a little bit grippy tonight. They have put some water down, but I don't particularly think that's helping much of the riders. But maybe as the meeting goes on, it will get better. But I mean, Plymouth's gonna have an uphill task now with Barker out. It's not gonna be easy for them now. One of the six-man team, but we'll just have to see how they get on.
And the big question, does this count as a guest booking for rider replacement, or is this his long-lost cousin injury?
I think this must be his long-lost cousin injury. I think it's a bit too short notice for our mate rider replacement to get down to Plymouth.
Showing some racing from another
idea.
meeting. Oh, Alan's got an idea. Stop the world.
I
Get
can
Ben
hear
Trigger
them
to
tick.
get Ben Trigger to get his Kevlars on, and we'll get him a bite. I mean, he's there anyway.
Oh, Jason Gabbard put up a load of bad luck there with Tobias Thompson nearly sticking him through the fence. And this is probably
Oxford superstar.
this is probably the closest we're going to get to any racing for the time being. If that ambulance has had to take Ben Barker to the old hospital.
I swear I watched this race in the Plymouth Redcar stream last week.
Probably did.
Probably.
Because Gowan made an insane start, and I was proper like cheering him on, even though I knew he was going to finish last anyway.
Ben Barker has officially withdrawn.
Well, there's a shock.
Paul Wheeler's still not answered our question as to what he had from that beefeater.
Or
Come on,
Mackey's.
Mr. Wheeler.
Or Mackey's, yeah. That is beautiful, that Premier Inn though, innit? You got the beefeater right there, you got Mackey's, Asda's and all the rest of them over the road. It's ideal for fat people like me and Palmer.
You should have came with the Travelodge that I had in Scunny. We got a nice little breakfast at the pub
That
the
was
following day.
That was the Premier Inn, Mush.
Oh, was it? I thought it was Travelodge.
Oh,
No, they're both practically the same though.
No, my bad.
No, it's
Y'all be
both
good.
the same.
Carl's just channeled his inner R-Truth.
Daniel and Hume getting a row there from the old mascot for standing on the gate.
Jason Edwards looks bored stiff.
He's like, hurry up, I want back on the track.
And they've
So
watered
does
the
half the fans in the crowd.
they've watered the track and nothing's happening, so the track's going to be bone dry again by the time racing starts.
Then I just need to keep circling round with the water. Just until they return.
Oh,
we
just
haven't.
Get a quick flight down there, Alan. Go walk round with the hose pipe.
Oh my god, poor with barbecue chicken and ribs, McDonald's the night before, breakfast at the inn and then Mackey's breakfast. Fat, ain't it? Sounds tasty
Nice.
though. What was the Mackey's
Sounds
order
right,
though,
that.
Wheeler? That's the question. You know we're looking for filler when we're sat talking about food.
Well, to be fair, though, let's be honest, we're not looking for filler because this is just our normal conversations outside of streaming.
Got 3 people watching now. Maybe the third person watching can tell us what they had for their tea. Scorpions
And-
TV is coming to D&D Media now.
And if anybody is interested, I had chicken nuggets, chips, and ketchup for my tea.
What an elite level tea.
And now we're getting a look at all the riders banned in the pit.
Is that Ben
Yeah.
Barker's bike being wheeled away?
I
That
would
it
imagine
is.
so.
Mark Simmons is mechanic, ex-Plymouth legend, or Bellend, whichever one you want to say.
Got a feel for that gentleman getting all the tools out ready to mechanic on Ben Barker's bike, and then Barker getting taken out of the meeting after what, 3 rides? Not even 3
Yeah,
rides.
One
it
race.
happens.
It's just the
he only
nature of
had-
the beast. Yeah, he's
Was
only
that
had
his
one
second
ride.
ride?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Poor gentleman back on the scrap heap until Barker's back racing again.
Oh, this fella's come walking out of a bag of food. What's he got? Palmer, the big question is, did you get any food reviews from Manchester at the British final on Saturday? And if you didn't, why didn't you?
I didn't, no. I tried to get you on from Scunthorpe as well on Friday, but naturally carrying around a set of Kevlars as well as trying to eat a double bacon cheeseburger is quite hard to film as well.
Take off the
but-
army off the back of those t-shirts and you've got exactly what Gary May is. Barmy.
Can you see the size of
Um,
that guy's beard?
I wondered where that was going.
Did you just see the cheerleader trip over though?
Yeah, that was the one Palmer was watching.
You're damn right. So I didn't get you any proper videoed food reviews over the weekend, but I can give you some verbal ones now if you like. Well, we've got a bit of time to kill.
If you feel so compelled, by all means.
Well, go on then. So on Friday night, I travelled up to the Eddie Wright Raceway in my hometown of Scunthorpe and had my traditional pre-match meal of a double bacon cheeseburger with fried onions. And I have to say, as always, it was absolutely stunning. It was almost as like Liv Morgan just went into my mouth. It was that good. So that was Friday's food. Saturday's food, not the best, unfortunately. Went and had a hot dog. That was 5 Great British pounds that for a sausage with some onions in a bit of bread. And you could tell it was the cheap stuff. And then I wanted some chips and curry, so I went and got some chips. They'd run out of curry, so I had to have gravy. It wasn't very nice. I think I ended up giving Callum a few of my chips. And
I
yeah,
can concur it with minging.
it wasn't it wasn't very nice. And then we had a takeaway when we got back to the hotel, which was lovely. And the man in the Asda across the road may have given us some weird looks for going and getting some HP sauce at 11 o'clock at night.
Palmer, feel free to tell us about the complimentaries that you decided to take from the hotel.
Oh, I took absolutely everything.
The UHT milk, folks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
10 cartons of UHT milk, half a dozen tea bags, coffee, decaf, sugar, sweetener.
Did I
Well,
go on the
you know-
toilet when you did that? I can't remember you did anything.
No, you saw. I'm sure we was in the room when you saw me when I tipped the old thingy into my bag. It was
I was
right
actually
before.
really hooked on the beautiful
was-
speedway that was happening in Debrecen.
It was
No.
was right just before we left.
What Palmer did is he waited till Cal was in the old lavatory, kept it in his bag, and then put it back like nothing had ever happened. That's exactly what you did, Palmer.
I mean,
If it's any consolation, all the milks have gone.
Callum would have noticed if he went to the loo and the tea tray was full and he came back and it was empty.
To be fair, I think I stopped looking in that area when I realised there was no biscuit.
Oh wait, I'm still fuming about that. And well, I've got a minute actually. I'm going to put the review on of the hotel now. And
Mint
I'll,
Hotel. Shit
Mint
choice
Ho-
of biscuit. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
Callum's got a
Apologies
yellow
for
card.
For the F-bomb there, dropped by Callum Steele. Next time he's getting one stream less.
Just
Another F-bomb.
just an update from Speedway Updates. Ben Barker was stretchered into the ambulance.
Ooh, that's not good.
Update from Paul Wheeler. He was only going to have a single cheeseburger, but after watching JJ eat a double, he had to go for a triple. Well, you got to do what you got to do.
I think these cheerleaders are doing a little cheer for old Palmer back there. What do you reckon, Mr. Palmer?
They're
I
earning their
can't
keep.
fault them if they are. They've got to do a little dance for world famous
Oh,
Tony Dunn.
Palmer.
So Palmer, what's your go-to Mackey's order?
How long have we got?
Oh God, I bet it's not as big as mine, Mush.
Normally I like to go for 20 chicken nuggets. I'll probably go for either selects or a chicken and bacon wrap, one or the other. I tend to go for a triple cheeseburger, mayo chicken, chips, obviously, an apple pie, a McFlurry, and a strawberry milkshake.
Heart attack coming before you're 30. Cal, your Mackey's order. Why not? We'll talk about food because there's absolutely sod all else to talk about at this exact moment.
It depends on what day it is, to be honest with you. I'm a big sweet chili wrap meal fan. Then some days I go for a Big Mac, and other days I go for the 20 box of chicken nuggets to eat for myself, which I think I'm supposed to share, but I don't do that.
Alan?
I don't actually often go to Mackey's, but I think I'm trying to remember the last time what I had. I had the chicken Big Mac with fries and a side of mozzarella dipper
Alan's not fat enough to be on this YouTube channel anymore.
and a strawberry milkshake. Forgot about that.
It's all about the Big Mac large meal with a spare large fries, 20 chicken nuggets, 4 dips, 2 McFlurries.
No.
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a milkshake fan at McDonald's. It makes me even more thirsty.
Yeah, it dries your mouth out.
It's the only reason I go to Mackey's is for the strawberry milkshake.
Paul Wheeler's going to be ordering himself takeaway at this point. We're just talking about food. He's going to order a KFC or something.
Surprised Mr. Palmer's not doing that well after he does his hotel review.
Although I really want to go to Interceptor or it's a Hungry Horse pub because they do 3 hash browns and a breakfast dipping gravy, whatever that is, but I'm really intrigued to try it.
And then we're getting a look inside the porter cabin. That is the referee's box.
Wayne Jarvis, the referee that gave Birmingham their first win of the season by excluding Brady Kurtz when he tried to kill Piotr Pavlicki earlier in the season. Wayne Jarvis is a nice fella, actually. I'll give him his due.
I think he's standing there just going, I wish this meeting would hurry up. I wish I hadn't taken this gig now.
He's listening to us and ordering his Mackies.
Can you blame him?
Absolutely not. McDonald's can sponsor us if they really want. We're helping them out.
Mackey's,
Exactly.
give old Palmer a call.
Oh my God. What's going to happen first? The end of this meeting or we'll die of a heart attack?
What if they both finish at the same time?
It's a good job the sun's out.
Do Plymouth have a curfew?
No idea.
I think.
Oh God.
I'm going to ask I'm going to find that out.
Where's Maximus? We need Maximus in our lives.
He's got lost. He's run away. We've now gone down to 1 viewer, so Wheeler's gone to answer the door to his takeaway man.
Is it worth us going a rundown of the riders' individual scores, given they've only had like not even 2 rides for some of them?
There's Maximus.
There he is. Oh, he's on
Whee!
the bike. Go on, Maximus.
Yeah, get out of the way. Stop blocking the pit gate up. Oh,
Oh my. Oh my
Cheer.
lord.
cheerleaders have gone for
He's
the
off.
seat. There's Dan Palmer. Stole Maximus's bike.
Well, Maximus do
And
better
the
than Paul
suit.
Stark and Daniel and Hume did on this track.
Yeah. Yeah, our fans, you've paid to come and watch some speedway. You can watch a fella in a big costume with a big head and a big flag do a lap on a push bike.
Is old Batch having a go at Speedway Challenge there on the old phone?
Paul Wheeler, my phone battery can be on 99%. By the time I'm finished with Just Eat, it's on 58%. It's very specific.
At least he's honest.
What's
Oh.
going on here?
He's on the 4th floor, so the Just Eat driver goes to him.
There we go.
Ah, it's our trigger.
Oh,
Because
Ben,
that's
imagine
right,
if, imagine
Oh,
if,
that's it.
We trigger that.
imagine if he falls off and casts banner for Ben for Red Car's next meeting. Go on.
Or Ben having to get a proper mechanic in.
Go on, stack it just for the fun of it. Well, he's
Oh.
trying to. What's he doing?
He's not. Watch out, sir!
He's nearly wiped the start marshal out with a flag. Oh, the tapes are down.
Oh dear.
I mean, I don't
He's
envy
gonna
him
get-
doing that in sandals.
Does that mean the racing's about to restart, or is this guy going to get a start from the tapes?
Go on, go from the tapes. Give us a laugh.
Completely misses the tapes and just goes through them.
Tapes are up again. They've saw him coming and put them up. Crikey. No idea who these two fellas are.
Looks a bit like me and you doing the commentary tonight.
Nah, we're better.
Just meant you the guy on the right with the glasses, now I'm the other guy. Rocked up, doesn't have a clue what he's doing.
Alan's determined to get himself sacked from Shoes and Shale, isn't he?
That was being nice.
Opening up the P45 as we speak.
You'd rather be the guy on the left with the Plymouth jacket on?
I mean, to be honest, I'd rather be neither of them.
Okay. I'll give Dan Palmer the guy with the glasses then. How's that for you?
Oh, we could be here for some time.
What did you put in the hotel review, Dan?
Oh, I made sure they knew our displeasure
The
of,
biscuits.
of not having it. I said absolutely everything else was absolutely fine, clean and tidy. The room was spacious and the beds were comfy and all that jazz. But when they asked me what was bad about it, I said with the tea and coffee there was no biscuits.
Did you
Good.
own up to nicking all the tea and coffee?
Absolutely not, because nobody does that. That's like the law when you're on holiday.
You've paid for the room, so whatever's in it becomes yours. So that means you can walk out with a flat screen TV, bed, mattress.
I've just had confirmation that the curfew is 9:45. Plymouth.
Who you asked about that, Winchester?
Yes. Got to ask the only Plymouth fan I know.
Plymouth have fans.
Well,
Alan
Oh,
has friends.
yep, got to ask Mr. Winchester. 9:45.
It's a bit of a strange time, isn't it?
Yeah, very accurate.
It is very accurate. Not 9:46 or 9:44.
Oh, my
9:44. Oh, go on, stack it. Give
Oh.
us a laugh.
Stack it and let the head fall off.
Now we're looking at the fans. Bloody hell, some of these don't look like they've got time to wait for the restart. Hey.
Hey,
Dan Palmer, rate that wheelie.
4 out of 10. That's got up down to at least a 9.
Is that because he's actually on the track and doing something?
Yeah.
Best action I've seen on the track all night.
Trust me. This has got to be a case of them only having one ambulance or one lot of medics.
That's all it can be.
Alfie Botel sat on Lewis Kerr's bike.
Looks like he was going to go for it now.
Don't blame him.
Alfred needs to put the flesh away. My goodness.
Maximus is earning his money tonight.
Could at least give the guy some gloves to wear.
I mean, the codes.
I used to have one of them bikes when I was in school. It was really fun, actually. Well, we've got a minute. Should we take another short break to stop us talking
Yeah, go
shite?
on then.
We'll be back in a
Oh,
few
yeah.
minutes when it
For,
starts up.
Sweater.
So, ladies and gents, if you watch it, we are back live from, Scunthorpe, Scotland, Stockton, and somewhere near Birmingham. Giving you this live coverage of Plymouth Speedway TV, and we're awaiting to be getting underway with the next heat. I'm not going to lie, I've lost track of what heat we was on because we got talked
7.
about Mackies.
Heat 7.
What Dill said.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hand you back to Dylan Al, and I'm going to give my voice a rest.
So, Dan Thompson coming in here for the rerun of heat number 7 as an injury rider replacement for Ben Barker, who was withdrawn from the meeting. As Dan said before, we send our best wishes to Ben, and hopefully now we can kick on and get this meeting finished.
Absolutely. Do you want me just to redo the lineup?
Wait till it's at the tape, Smush. No
Yep, we'll do
rush.
Is there not in any rush, to be fair?
Nobody's in any rush, are they? No, you got a point.
Come on, Plymouth.
So we've had a bit of a conversation about food, we've talked a little bit about Speedway, and now we're just waiting for them to come back out. Riders are on their bikes. Drew Kemp's back up and okay, he's back on his bike. And does this swing in the favour of the Bandits now, who are 6 down going into this, but Plymouth has lost their number 5 now, and arguably the best rider around Plymouth.
I have to think so. It might just go back now in Berwick's favour. And before the meeting, it was definitely going in Plymouth's favour, but I think after losing Barker, it's not going to be easy. Plymouth to keep this splendid lead they've got.
Clerk of the course is on the pit phone for something.
He's trying to get on the phone, but the other guy's just not letting him on.
Hello mate, can I have a Big Mac large meal, 2 fries, a large Coke and a McFlurry? No, ignore him, he stole my credit card. That's how that conversation went. Riders now pushing off for the rerun of Heat 7. Good to see Drew Kemp up and okay. And we'll give over to Alan to read out the lineup of Heat 7.
Number 7. So, the rerun of Heat 7 in red off gate 1 will be Dan Thompson coming in for Ben Barker. In white off gate 2 will be Drew Kemp. In blue off gate 3 will be Joe Thompson. And off the outside in the yellow helmet will be Daniel Hume.
I've edited the programme for Mr. Callum to include the IRR. Now I'll give it back over to Mr. Callum to keep it updated.
So,
Thanks, Mosh.
Man of few words. Drew Kemp, the last rider to come round to the tapes.
I was about to say it'll be interesting to see how long he's got left, but he's made it.
He always comes up the tapes a little bit too quick and ends up a nice sharp turn to slow down. And it's now the Thompson twins versus Drew Kemp and Daniel Hume. Start Marshall bringing him into order. Riders have had to focus again after, about a half-hour delay, give or take. I bet they weren't sat talking about McDonald's and Beefeater.
You never know.
Well, that's true. And it's almost like starting the meeting again now after such a delay. They've had to warm their bikes up again, they've had to warm themselves up again. This has got to be near the end of the 2 minutes now. Drew Kemp is the last rider to settle off gate 3. Start Marshall walks away. And it's a good start for the riders in red and blue, the Thompsons, but Drew Kemp just clamps Dan Thompson down to the inside. Joe Thompson streaking clear. Daniel Hume comes around the outside of Dan, but he's a little bit out of shape. Dan again being clamped down to the inside by Drew Kemp, and the Bandits are in second and third at the moment. Dan now coming up the inside of Hume, streams sort of died, but it's back. Dan Thompson up into third, Daniel Hume drops to the back, and now Dan's going to put pressure on Drew Kemp. There's still a nice big rut into him, Ben Free. Drew Kemp all over the back of Joe Thompson, but can't quite find a way through at the moment. Dan Thompson buzzing all over the back of Drew's back wheel now, and you could throw a blanket over all four of these. Dan's going to either have to decide to defend from Hume or attack Kemp and potentially risk losing third. He does look quicker. He's trying to force a mistake from Drew Kemp, but at the moment he's not making any. Dan's definitely quicker. He's going to try and go around the outside. Opts to go for the inside now off the corner, and Drew just holds on, but Joe Thompson takes the win.
Yep, very good win for the rider in blue, Joe Thompson. Drew Kemp finishing in second and Dan in third. At 4-2, the Plymouth Gladiators makes the scores 25 to Plymouth, 17 to the Berwick Bandits. After 7 rides.
And the first 2 riders in that race both have something in common. They've both been sacked as rising star or reserve from Leicester by Stuart Dixon in the past. Joe Thompson's really settled at Plymouth. He seems to have took to the track really well after a disappointing, sort of unsettled couple of years. Obviously released by Scunny early on last year and then got put up by Poole. Found himself at Plymouth this year, but he seems to have settled now.
Let's say the top 3 riders have all been sacked by Dixon in some capacity over the years.
Yeah, you got a point, yeah. Jason Edwards comes up to the start line off gate 4. And the riders are at the tape, so we'll give over to Alan to read out the lineup.
So in the inside gate of gate number 1 in the blue helmet colour, that is Jacob Hook. In yellow off gate number 2 is Paul Stark. In red off gate number 3 is Alfie Botel. And off the outside in the white helmet colour is Jason Edwards.
I'd imagine there won't be an interval now. We'll probably just go through to the end. I hope there's not an interval anyway.
Imagine if there was another interval.
Oh God, don't even say that. Starts are very rutty. There's yeah, they've ripped up a fair bit quite quickly actually. Some tracks you don't see starts like that after 15 heats, let alone after 7. Sun's still out at least, makes a change.
Yeah, at least it's not raining.
Start Marshal trying to get the riders to listen, and they all now oblige. And now Jacob Hook decides to pull back, and he's in line. Start Marshal walks away, and it's a good start for the rider in red. Alfie Botel gets straight up onto that grip and boosts himself down the back straight, clear in front. The 2 Berwick boys are second and third at the moment, with Jacob Hook just missing out from the start. Paul Stark is in second place, and Jason Edwards now being put under a little bit of pressure from Jacob Hook. Edwards keeping it low, Hook riding mid-track and cutting back, just not quite enough grip there on that second lap. Now entering the third one, Alfie Botel clear in front. Paul Stark, this is a much more competitive ride from Starkey in second, and Jason Edwards just holding off Jacob Hook, who missed out from the start. But this will do Alfie's confidence the world of good. Started with a 0, or a disappointing first race, 2 wins. Since then, Starkey looks a lot more competitive in this one. Jacob Hook tries to go wide, 2 wide, and Jason Edwards will hold on to third. Jacob Hook looks fuming.
It was an excellent win for the rider in red, Alfie Botel. Second place was the rider in yellow, Paul Stark. And third was the rider in white, Jason Edwards. At 3 each in that one, makes the score 28 to the Plymouth Gladiators and 20 the Berwick Bandits.
And for you there, that's a bit more positive, with Starkey looking a bit more on it then.
Yeah, he did. He looked a bit more on it, but I kind of feel that's maybe a given considering it's the kind of reserve ride more. You know, if you know what I mean, the more lesser riders of the team really should be getting second in that one. So, and he's proved himself by getting that second place.
Freddie Hodder in this one in yellow will be hoping he gets to the first turn and doesn't get sandwiched or bullied out of the way. He's been really unlucky in his first two races in the first turn. Look at those funky LED lights.
His ones I've seen Speedway so far.
Sun's out, but we'll put the track lights on.
Sun's out and the guns are out.
Let's hope not.
As we go into heat number 9, in the blue helmet of gate number 1 is Kyle Newman of the Plymouth Gladiators. Gate 2 in white, we've got Zach Cook of the Berwick Bandits. Gate 3 in red, we've got Dan Thompson of the Plymouth Gladiators. And off the outside in yellow is Freddie Hodder of the Berwick Bandits.
Zach will be hoping to not make a mistake like last time when he made a little bit of a mistake, let Batchelor around the outside and was on the wrong end of a 5-1 after impressively winning his first race. Dan Thompson's not quite hit his stride tonight yet. Perhaps not as good as he has been this season. Carl Newman's bike just got a little bit of oil dripping off it there.
It's weird as that rider in yellow look like he's getting further and further up that gate 4 as if he's getting closer to the
Start
audience.
Marshall raises his arms, walks away, and Freddie Hodder's completely missed the start off the outside. Zach Cook's nailed it, and he's got the lead with Dan Thompson coming around the outside of his teammate Carl Newman, and will now set off after the rider in white, Zach Cook. Freddie Hodder missed the start, completely bogged down, just went nowhere. So it's Zach Cook with the lead after one lap, with the two Plymouth boys second and third, and Freddie Hodder just missing out at the back. Dan Thompson's got speed, but just can't quite get on level terms with Zach. Zach's riding a smart line round the curb. The two Plymouth boys look fairly settled in second and third, but Freddie Hodder's not been tailed off by any means. The dust is flying. Zach comes round 3 and 4 for the final time, and he's going to take his second win of the evening, with Dan Thompson second and Carl Newman third. Freddie Hodder just lost it from the start then.
Yep, it was a very good win for the rider in white, Zach Cook. Second place with the rider in red, Dan Thompson, with Kyle Newman in third, and Freddie Hodder at the back. 3 each now makes the score 31 to the Plymouth Gladiators, 23 to the Berwick Bandits, and it's 73-70 on aggregate.
And we are getting a nice move on now, actually. You know, a couple of races since the delay. Hopefully we keep going at this pace. Track could maybe do with a little bit more water putting into it. Troy Batchelor now out for his third ride. Look at how deep some of those are. Look how small the gates are. Why does gate 2 look so small? I think Alan's dead.
I'm still here. I'm just listening to your expert analysis there on the start gate. As we approach the tapes for heat number 10, in the blue helmet off gate number 1, we've got Alfie Botel. In yellow off gate number 2, we've got Daniel Hume. In gate number 3, in the red helmet, we've got Troy Batchelor. And off the outside in the white helmet colour, we've got Drew Kemp.
And looking at the results so far, you've got to favour the Gladiators pairing for this one. Alfie on 6 from 3, Batch on paid 5 from 2 so far.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Unless Berwick can make a very good start off the tape, just don't think that the pairing in this one's going to be able to do anything to stop Batch and Botel taking a heat advantage of some sort and extending the Gladiators' lead.
Still got 2 people watching. I'd imagine Paul Wheeler is there. Let us know if you're still alive. Riders come down to the tapes for heat number 10. So very good start for the rider in yellow, Daniel Hume actually. Alfie Botel completely misses it off the inside. Daniel Hume leaves a gap and batches straight round the outside of him. Alfie Botel comes up the inside of Drew Kemp down the back straight to take third, and the Gladiators sit on a 4-2. Daniel Hume will be happy with this, but we've seen him in a good position tonight already, and he's not managed to hold on to it, so he'll be hoping he can do that this time around. Looks a bit more comfortable. Alfie's a bit out of shape. Drew Kemp's all over the back of him. Bachelor's checking out in front. Hume settled in second place, gets a little bit of lift, but does look more settled down than he was earlier on. Stream froze for a second there, but we're now back. Bachelor streaking away. Alfie's got speed, but just can't quite get around Daniel Hume, and the positions look settled. Drew Kemp's packed up at the back, and it's going to extend the Gladiators' lead.
Yep, absolutely. A very nice win for the rider in red, Troy Batchelor. Daniel Hume in second and Alfie Botel in third. At 4-2 for the Gladiators. Now makes the score 35 for the Gladiators, 25 for the Bandits, and extends that lead on aggregate to 77 points to the Gladiators, 72 to the Berwick Bandits.
It's good to see Batch enjoying his speedway again. He looks really up for it this year as well.
Definitely a better bachelor than we seen at Perry Barn last year.
He wasn't too bad for Birmingham, to be fair. He wasn't, the worst. He did okay. We have an IRR coming in red in this one for Ben Barker. We don't know who that's going to be yet.
Well, I would imagine
it might be Troy Batchelor.
So all of them can take one, is that right?
Oh, actually no, IRR is on or below, so it can be anybody but Batchelor. It could be Kyle Newman, possibly.
Or Alfie Botel.
Or Alfie, yeah. And with there being a little bit of a delay here, you could be right, it could be Alfie.
I think Kyle Newman is essentially their third heat leader. So with heat 13 coming up, they'll obviously want to have the next best rider available to them, so I think Botel will probably go in this one.
I mean, I'd probably put Botel in 13 looking on the scores tonight.
It's better analysis there from our red car extraordinaire in the behind the scenes.
The tapes are down, but there is a delay, so I'd imagine it's Alfie Botel coming in red here.
I'd imagine so. I'd be very surprised if they're having this delay and it's not Alfie Botel coming in.
Unless
unless
Plymouth are potentially looking at, Berwick are potentially looking at a tactical substitute, although Jason Edwards hasn't had the worst of nights, so I wouldn't be putting it in here. It could maybe go in 12 in place of Freddie Hodder.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Wasn't sure whether they'd be allowed a tactical, wasn't sure if it was a knockout cup match or just a normal league one. That's what kind of...
I think it's a league meeting.
Pretty sure it's a league meeting, but I wasn't 100% sure. Interesting to see what old Stuart Dixon and Gary May do in heat number 11. Will Dixon take the tactical, or will they leave it for another heat?
I mean, they've only got up till heat 14 to use it, and Freddie Hodder has struggled tonight, so I'd imagine he'll be replaced for his last ride. Here comes
Here we
Lewis
go.
Kerr. Jason Edwards is there, so no tactical in this one.
Are we right to say Alfie Botel in red?
1 minute 48 seconds on the clock. It's a very funky clock, even though it's a bit small.
I was going to say, I don't particularly like Plymouth clock, I have to say.
It suits the
Clear it.
track, doesn't it? Everything about Plymouth's small.
Yep, even the team manager Gary May.
Yeah, he's not the tallest of fellas, is he?
So we await the Plymouth boys.
We got some strange fella called Dan Palmer in the comments on Facebook.
Oh dear, oh boy.
On
We do?
YouTube, sorry. Alfie Botel does take the injury ride replacement ride in red to partner Joe Thompson, who is unbeaten from 2 rides.
As we go into heat 11, it is Lewis Kerr off the inside in gate 1 in white. Gate 2 in red is Alfie Botel taking the injury rider replacement ride of Ben Barker. In gate 3 in yellow is Bandits guest Jason Edwards. And off the outside in the blue helmet is Joe Thompson. My question is, does Botel make it in time?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Oh, how long is left?
It's not the biggest of tracks, though, is it? So he's got a little bit of time. Lewis Kerr with a
There he is.
funky blue helmet on there.
The funky helmets.
With a big Miners and Brady sponsor on there.
Still not got long to settle down. Oh,
And start marshal's happy. Walks away. And it's a good start for the Bandits pairing. Alfie Botel got a little bit of lift off the start there. Lewis Kerr made it, and he's joined up front by Jason Edwards, his teammate. Jason Edwards now comes around the outside. Alfie Botel switches up to the outside, and Joe Thompson's at the back for the first time tonight. Alfie Botel all over the back of Lewis Kerr, but just can't quite make it. He's going wide. The line seems to have moved out now. Alfie Botel's going right around the boards. Lewis Kerr riding defensive. Alfie Botel's there. He can hear him coming, and he needs to ride a very defensive race here to keep Alfie at the back. Alfie's definitely got the speed. Lewis Kerr's just found a little bit of grip off the inside there and pulled away. Alfie's off. Alfie's felt. And that will, if it's stopped, will almost certainly be awarded as a 5-1 to Berwick. Race is stopped because Alfie can't get up in time. And that's the last thing they need, is another injury.
Ooh.
Riders seeing the red flags very, very late there. And Alfie's limping around a little bit. Yeah, it looks like he's hurt his leg there.
oh, this is not what Plymouth need tonight.
And that race has been awarded.
Yep, awarded for a win to Jason Edwards in yellow. Second place was Lewis Kerr in white, and third was Joe Thompson, with obviously Alfie Botel clubbing off at the back in red. That 5-1 to Berwick now makes the scores 36 Plymouth Gladiators, 30 the Berwick Bandits, and 78-77 on aggregate.
And that 5-1 still keeps Berwick in tactical territory, so I'd imagine they'll still bring in a tactical in heat number 12. It's partner Drew Kemp against Dan Thompson and Jacob Hook. Question is, who do they bring in?
It's good to see Alfie back on the bike.
Zach's flying, Louis Kerr's unbeaten, I think.
Saying anyone can take a tactical?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll probably be Louis Kerr, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'd imagine that. And Berwick are off 1 and 3 in that one. 2 and 4 seem to be working a little bit better at the moment, though.
In fact, don't know, because Louis Kerr was out in this one. So do they want another delay to allow Louis Kerr in for another ride?
They're not going to be bothered about that. But then that does mean Louis Kerr has to take 3 on the bounce.
Exactly, exactly. And that might not be the most effective thing to do.
They're not going to be worried about that. If he's getting the best, they'll put him in.
Yeah, true. True.
There is a delay, so I'd imagine that somebody's got 2 on the spin. And we've not quite seen the best of Dan Thompson yet tonight either, so this could be an opportunity. Although
Me was this Art Marshall very enthusiastic.
he's a bit pernickety. Alfie did definitely have speed there. Maybe went a little bit too high, wide and handsome. Yeah, he was never in control of that going into the corner. Hit a ruck by the looks of it, straightens up. One of those really awkward, silly ones that usually cause the injury. Definitely delay here, so I'd imagine that there is a tactical coming in at the moment. Well, we've got a second. I think it's a good opportunity to bring Mr. Palmer back in for a little chin wag.
Hello.
What you thought
Always
of?
alive.
What have you thought of the last few races?
Not gonna lie, Bush. I've been struggling to keep awake. The last race was all right until Bortel binned it, like a silly little sausage. But other than that, I don't want to not try and sell Plymouth Speedway, but it has just been a bog standard Plymouth meeting. That's the best I can give you. Oz.
Very insightful as always, Mr. Palmer.
Well, you know me, Booker. Yeah, we anticipated this wouldn't be the best, and so far it's proved.
Riders now coming out for the 12th race of the night.
12th race. And as the riders come to tapes, I'm just waiting to see who it is for the...
Lewis
tactical.
Kerr's in yellow, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it is Freddie Hodder
Nope, it's Lewis
in
Kerr.
yellow.
It's Lewis Kerr, you dodo.
It says Freddie Hodder on the screen, that's why I'm confused.
But that's Lewis Kerr.
Okay, it's Lewis Kerr in yellow. Gate 2 in red is Dan Thompson. Gate 3 in white is Drew Kemp. Now they've changed the graphic. And in off the gate number 4 in blue is Joe Thompson.
Has this been a reserve switch for Plymouth? It has, yeah. Joe Thompson's replaced Jacob Hook.
Yep.
Mr. Callum
No surprise.
well on it with the spreadsheet. Start Marshall's calling up to the tapes. Walks away. And it's a fairly... The Thompson twins have got away. It was a fairly even break, but they just dragged to the first turn. Dan in the lead, Joe on the outside, and Lewis Kerr is in third at the moment. Dan riding defensive. Lewis Kerr comes up the inside of Joe Thompson, tries to put him straight through the fence. That's just the nature of this small circuit. You're, if you get close, you're almost certainly going to the fence. But Lewis Kerr into second place, but the Gladiators will be well happy with this. Drew Kemp's missed out and is at the back. Lewis Kerr now setting chase after Dan Thompson, who's just pegging it to the inside. Lewis Kerr's definitely got speed on him, and he's riding the attacking line around the mid-track to pick up that speed. Joe Thompson crucially ahead of Drew Kemp for third. Lewis Kerr's gone a bit too wide, lost ground, and that's probably all she wrote. Dan Thompson comes off the fourth bend for the final time and takes the win. Lewis Kerr second and Joe Thompson third, and that tactical is squandered by the Bandits.
An excellent win for the raider in red, Dan Thompson. Second place was Lewis Kerr, the tactical substitute for the Bandits, and in third was Joe Thompson. So that 4-2 makes the scores 40 the Plymouth Gladiators, 32 to the Berwick Bandits, and the scores 82-79 on aggregate.
And there will be an extra little bit of time allowed before Heat 13 with Lewis Kerr coming here for his third race on the bounce. Drew will be fuming with that. Yeah, we can have a look through the individual scores after 12 heats.
Do you want to take one? Or do you want to do?
I'll do Plymouth. You can do Berwick. So for the Gladiators, after 3 races for Troy Batchelor, he's on 7+1. Alfie Botel finishes his night on 7. Dan Thompson from 5 rides is on 10+2. Carl Newman 4+1 from 3. Ben Barker is on 2 from 1 before withdrawing with injury. Joe Thompson 8 and Jacob Hook 3+2.
And for the Berwick Bandits, Lewis Kerr is on 11+2. Jason Edwards is on 8+1. Hugh Kemp is on 3. Daniel Hume is on 2. Jack Cook's on 7. Freddie Horror failed to score, unfortunately so far, and Paul Stark on 3.
And Freddie Hodder's night is over because that was his last ride, which Lewis Kerr just came into.
Was indeed. I mean, unless they, I don't know, some reason put him in for Paul Stark in Heat 14, but I don't see that happening.
This is a very tasty looking Heat 13. Troy Batchelor just sat in his pit bay taking a moment. Carl Newman does come in as the injury rider replacement in blue for Ben Barker, as Cal predicted. Gavin May just being interviewed by the streaming fella. Still got 2 people watching. Whether that other person is Mr. Wheeler or Mr. Palmer, who knows?
Or Mr. Steele, for all we know.
Or Mr. Cal. I can't see it being Cal. Cal's watching the cricket.
I'm watching cricket and this speedway. I'm loving life.
Just being a little bit stop-start this tonight, ain't it? But it's another track that's now been covered, so that we can't be accused of just being Oxford.
That is true, sir.
Although we are back with Oxford on Thursday night as they host Ipswich in the Premiership. So Oxford Radio returns on Thursday. With Dan Palmer coming back to do this job tonight, I'll be doing what Alan's doing, and Alan will be doing the updates from the Kings Lynn and Leicester meeting.
At least we're getting a mix of Championship and Premiership this week.
Yeah,
not just all Premiership.
Getting a bit of everything going on this week.
And Trigger, I bet he's gutted not to have been asked to be a guest for the Bandits tonight.
Jason Edwards being interviewed now. Are we having an interval after that half-hour delay earlier?
Wouldn't surprise me.
And I think while these have a quick 5 minutes, we'll have a quick 5 minutes and we'll be back with Heat 13 in a few moments' time. So we might get to the end of this meeting at some point this side of Christmas. Riders getting ready to come out for Heat 13 and a third ride on the bounce for Lewis Kerr. Just put a bit of water on the track so hopefully the fans aren't eating dust.
Hey, this is an unusual occurrence for Stuart Dixon, some sunshine in the sky.
Zach Cook sat there looking ready for Heat 13. He's had a really good night actually, Zach. 2 wins and a 3rd place from his 3 rides so far will do his confidence the world of good. He looks focused. That literally is just a polo shirt, ain't it? That pullover.
And the looks like the cheerleaders are getting ready to pack up and walk away.
I can't say I blame them, to be honest.
And the tractor's still out on track.
Even the water's given up. I'm sure the people who go to Plymouth every week are entertained, but obviously we all watch racing at very different venues. So, you know, it's not ideal. Wolves used to be small and Wolves was never this boring.
Just sent a message to Dan Winchester. Dan Winchester, I'm bored.
I think Shads is watching this meeting as well on the old stream, being a Bandits fan. You know, you can only do what you can do. If that's the track size and shape, that's what they've got to make do with.
Because they've done that much to entertain the folk that went, yep, we've run out of ideas.
At least Plymouth are putting on some centre green entertainment, which obviously works for, you know, delays like we've had tonight. More clubs need to do stuff like that. I don't know what Scunny don't have centre green entertainment. They don't even have delays. It's just bosh, 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 done.
Oh, we're getting the gate starts again.
Yeah, I can confirm we do tend to be bosh, bosh, bosh done. But however, we do have a big telly now, and we can show you 5 minutes of Greece if we have to have a delay.
Oh, very exciting. Oh, God.
Haven't you, hasn't Rob Godfrey decided to sack himself as the presenter now and given it to the old Peterborough guy?
Kevin Moore?
Is that what his name is?
That's yeah, it's one of Simon's sponsors.
I was going to say that name rings a bell from Size Kevlar's.
Yeah, it's one of them. Rob said to Kevin, if he can make it, the job's his, and if he can't make it, Rob will do it. But obviously, as you probably know, we've had issues with our starting gate, which is over 20 years old, and he needs to keep an eye on them. So, yeah, big up the 20-year-old starting gates.
And are they getting a P45 at the end of the year?
Absolutely not, because they can go on forever. It's the electric starting system thing that's messing up. As we just watch people walk through the pits into some wooden scaffolding.
I feel like Plymouth may be more entertaining if you were there. Like if I went down to Poole or something, I may take a Tuesday trip up to Plymouth sometime.
I mean, that would make sense, but I mean, when you sat here watching it on mute, and all you can see is cheerleaders dancing, there's only Alan that gets excited about that because they look a little bit too young for the likes of us.
Can't take him anywhere, can we?
Can't take you anywhere, Palmer.
Well, you are the youngest one of us all, Al.
Sure about that?
Yeah. Oh, that's why we're waiting. The referee was in the pits. Wayne Jarvis now just off back up to the box. It looks a little bit like the M6, that, full of holes.
You'll be watching Thursday's match with a bit of anticipation, Mr. Just given who Kings Lynn's guests are.
Tom Brennan's guesting for Kings Lynn, I know that much.
And Richard Lawson.
He got injured guesting from last week. What's he gone back to guest from again for?
No idea, but he's guessing again.
Richard Lawson guesting for Kings Lynn, Mush.
He's riding for, I was going to say, Leicester are there. Can't be Richard Lawson.
Drew
Oh,
Kemp's
sorry.
a guest.
Sorry, Richard Lawson stepping in their home match on the Monday, that's what it is.
Oh my god, can't get the staff these days.
As the Raiders are coming round, I think, now for heat number 13, finally.
Very swift change of direction there, Al. I like it.
Got to cover up the old mistakes here.
As we say, Alan will not be in this job on Thursday. He'll be doing the analyst role, which he's actually quite good at.
Thank you. I think.
Depends what way you want to look at it.
Heat number 13 of the Gate 1 in the red helmet colour, that is Troy Batchelor for the Plymouth Gladiators. Gate 2 in the white helmet colour for the Berwick Bandits, we've got Lewis Kerr. In Gate 3 in the blue helmet colour, placing Ben Barker, we've got Kyle Newman. And off the outside, in the yellow helmet colour, we've got Zach Cook of the Berwick Bandits.
The guests for the Bandits have done really well tonight. Zach on 7. We've got Jason Edwards on 8, paid 9, and Paul Stark. Well, Paul Stark on 3. But the other two guests have done really well tonight and arguably done better than the riders they were guesting for would have done in Joy Etheridge and Rory Schlein.
Honestly think Rory Schlein wouldn't have done better than... I don't know which one of these are guesting for Rory, but...
Zach's guesting for Rory.
Zach. You think Zach's done better than what Rory would have done?
Ask me after this race.
Okay.
Start Marshall walks away. Tapes are up. Zach's made a blinder of a gate, and Lewis Kerr has batched with the elbows out, and Lewis Kerr gets sent for the burger. Zach's at the back now. Carl Newman comes into third place, but Lewis Kerr's back around the outside of Newman, going after Batchelor now. He'll be well up for this one now. After Batch got the elbows out, Zach got the rough end of it with Louis going wide in the first turn. Zach had to go even wider. Newman's all over the back of Louis Kerr, but Batch is clearing off. Just hits a nice big rut and slowed up. And Carl Newman's through on the inside of Lewis Kerr, and the Gladiators find themselves on a 5-1 now. Lewis Kerr sticking to that outside. Carl Newman tootling round on the white line, and it seems to be working for him. The line seems to have moved back to the inside. There's a nice big hole in bend 3 there, actually. You just saw Batch dip into it. But the Gladiators one lap away from bringing home a 5-1 and the meeting win on the night. Batch leads it out of the fourth turn for the final time. Newman into second and Louis Kerr in third. Zach Cook just tootles over the line. That was a very impressive ride from Troy Batchelor there with the elbows out in the first bend, and Plymouth win on the night.
Yep, a lovely win for Troy Batchelor in the red helmet colour. Second place was, I believe, the rider in blue,
yep,
which would be Kyle Newman, and third was Louis Kerr. That 5-1, it makes the score 45 to the Plymouth Gladiators, 33 to the Berwick Bandits.
And Berwick now need 2 5-1s to salvage the aggregate point. Anything other than 2 5-1s, and Plymouth will also take the aggregate point. So the meeting as a contest for the aggregate could all be over in Heat 14 as well.
Lately, it could sir.
And the Gladiators boys have reacted really well to losing Ben Barker, because initially the Bandits dropped their clutches quicker than the home pair in here, and then the nudge there on Louis Kerr from Batch opened up all of that inside for Carl Newman to come up. It does seem like after all that track work, the line has now moved back towards the inside. So Louis was out there in the deep stuff, but not quite getting the speed he'd have liked. Drifted up a little bit far then, and Carl Newman said, "Thank you very much, through I come," and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, very good ride there for the two Gladiators. I think Harry Mayer will be happy with the result on the night. Got Dixon, not so much. Yeah, we'll see what happens in the last two heats.
Alfie Bertel standing talking to Freddie Hodder. Good to see Alfie suffering no ill effects from his off in his last ride. Standing up on some scaffoldy, woody stuff. Jason Edwards has been called into the pits. Could that be a sign that he's going in heat 15? He's definitely earned a shot in heat 15.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Do you think Schlein would have done any better than what Zach Cook's done tonight?
Before that heat 13, I'd probably say no, but potentially, who knows? It's a funny old track, is Plymouth. But Zach's more than done his job, I think, from 4 rides, 2 race wins. Scored 7 points. He's done his job. I think the issues for Berwick have lay a little bit more with a couple of their original riders. Kempy on 3, Daniel Hume on 2 with a race to go, and Freddie Hodder 0. Lewis Kerr's the only sort of fully fledged bandit that's really lived up to what he can do, and the 2 minutes is on for the penultimate race of the night.
Just a little bit of extra time being allowed for Kyle Newman having 2 on the bounce.
Very well spotted, Squire.
Very well spotted. Wondered why there was another delay, and then I remembered. As we go into heat number 14, we have got Dan Hume off the inside gate, gate number 1 in the white helmet for the Berwick Bandits. Gate 2 in blue for the Plymouth Gladiators, that is Joe Thompson. Gate 3 in yellow for the Berwick Bandits, open better ride this time out, Mr. Paul Stark. And off the outside in the red helmet, we've got Kyle Newman of the Plymouth Gladiators.
And at the conclusion of heat 15, we'll bring in Mr. Palmer to round out the watch along. That's usually his job as well because he's good at it. And we've got to make him earn his keep. Daniel Hume gone to speak to Paul Stark. Joe Thompson thinking, get out of my starting gate, you tit.
Then here comes Newman.
Paul Stark shaking his head, so whatever Daniel Hume said to him, Paul Stark couldn't give a toss about. Riders come up to the starts now, and Hume will be the last one to settle off the inside. Start marshal brings them to order, walks away, and it's a good start for the rider in blue, Joe Thompson, who's made a blinder of a gate. Carl Newman's there with him on the outside. The 2 bandits tripping over each other, and Carl Newman comes around the outside of both of them, and Plymouth run a 5-1. Daniel Hume all out of shape, and Paul Stark gets around his teammate for the night. No, he doesn't. Daniel Hume's back up the inside, but the Gladiators on a 5-1, and the bandits racing each other. Joe Thompson leads from his teammate Carl Newman in second. Daniel Hume's all over the shop, and Paul Stark is now going to come through to take up the charge. Or no, he's not, because Daniel Hume's blocked him again. Stark's definitely quicker of the 2 riders here. Joe Thompson streaking away for his 3rd win of the night. Daniel Hume's now dropped to the back. Stark, he has come through, and he's chasing down on Carl Newman. Daniel Hume just pegging it to the inside, but Joe Thompson's going to win this at the canter, and Carl Newman comes home in second. Very strong end for the Gladiators. Joe tries a wheelie, which doesn't quite work out, and that is all over for the aggregate point as well.
Yep, and it was a cracking win for the rider in blue, Joe Thompson. Second place was his partner Kyle Newman in red, and third was Paul Stark in yellow. That 5-1 now makes the score 50 points to the Plymouth Gladiators, 54 to the Berwick Bandits, and the Gladiators are now 92-81 up on aggregate. Will take a guaranteed 4 points tonight.
3
points.
2 for the win plus 2 for the win plus the bonus.
I always thought it was 3. There you go.
Used to be changed a couple of years ago. at the conclusion of Heat 15. We'll quickly run through the individual score charts. I'll let Alan do that, and then we'll call a halt for tonight. But I can see that Jason Edwards is in white, sorry, there for Heat 15. Got his helmet on already, and Zach Cook's been stood down. Be interesting to see who the Gladiators put in 15. It's not Alfie Botel, or maybe it is, but the wheel's out of his bike there, so I hope it's not.
Maybe he's getting the use of Barker's spare tyres that's sitting.
I'd bargain a guess as that it's going to be Batchelor and Thompson going in 15 because they're having a chat with Gary May.
I'd have said the Thompson twins because Joe Thompson's had a pretty good night.
It definitely looks like it's these two. It looks like they're talking about who wants what gate. There's a lot of shoulder shrugging and stuff going on. And I think we can all say it's good to see Batchelor back in the zone. You know, he just had another kid before the season started, and he looks well up for it again this year. And when Batchelor is fully on it, you know, he's gone through Grand Prix unbeaten in the past, so he's a very good rider to watch.
And it appears to be...
It's Zach Cook and Jason Edwards for Berwick.
Wow, did not see that. Lewis Kerr not getting picked. I'm very shocked at that.
Lewis Kerr's done his job. He's still coming back off an injury, so he's probably not quite up to full speed yet. And the two guests have earned their spot. You know, Stuart Dixon will probably be trying to wrap his riders in cotton wool to avoid any more injuries. So just stick the two guests out. Yeah.
That way, if they get injured, then he's not going to be too worried.
I just think they've earned their opportunity, and obviously Berwick are going through a bit of an injury crisis at the moment, so they want to protect what they've got left. And if the two guests are scoring well, then you might as well whack them in. Cal will be watching this through his fingertips though, with Jason Edwards out. And that's Troy Batchelor's in red. You can just see in the background, which means I'd presume Dan Thompson is in blue.
Really shake of the hands out and a pat in the back.
So out of this entire heat, only one rider is riding for his actual team in Heat 15. Three guests.
And Thompson.
I do like that Berwick top though. I wish they sold those.
They made a very impressive 50 points. Stuart Dixon's 34.
What a fella that Gary May is.
He's certainly putting his points on the board for Plymouth. Get that man signed up on a bike.
What a guy. So the riders push off for the final race of the night. Feels like it's been a bit of a slog. Obviously we went live about 10 to 7, so we are into the 2.5 hour mark now. There has been delays, but it just feels like this has been just a little bit of a slog.
And it looks as if Berwick took 2 and 4.
Depends who won the toss in for Heat 1. Plymouth won the toss, which means Berwick got the option for 15.
Yep, so they've took 2 and 4 this time.
Yeah. Which means Troy Batchelor will be off gate 1 and Dan Thompson will be off gate 3.
Absolutely, sir.
For the final time tonight, Alan will bring us the lineup for Heat 15.
Thank you, Mr. Hodges. So in red, off gate number 1 for the Plymouth Gladiators is their guest, Troy Batchelor. Gate 2 in white for the Berwick Bandits, it's their guest, Jason Edwards. In blue, off gate number 3, the only rider riding for his club in heat number 15 is Dan Thompson. And off the outside, completing the trio of guests in heat 15, it is, I've forgotten his name, Zach Cook
We got
for the Berwick Bandits. I was that flabbergasted with 3 guests in 1 heat that I'd forgotten the rider's name in yellow for a moment. Marshall keen to get them up to tapes.
So for the final time tonight, at the start, Marshall walks away. Jason Edwards was moving.
come on.
Troy Batchelor moved. Jason Edwards moved first. Batchelor, I think, has touched the tapes though.
Ooh, that's not good. A little bit messy start.
Why has it took until heat 15 for that to happen? Batch has touched the tapes.
I think it was the rider in blue touched him first.
Oh, well, I wasn't even looking at Dan Thompson. Batch has definitely touched him.
I think Thompson actually touched him first before Batch, and
I'd be interested to see the
Edwards
replay
went
again
through
of looking at Thompson. Edwards definitely moves first, but Troy Batchelor wouldn't have seen that because he's looking the other way.
in Jarvis to make a decision. And I get the tapes now off of Batch's bike.
Why is it taken until the last race for that to happen though? I don't understand.
Not a bad thing.
I'd be interested to see what happens with Dan there. If you reckon he moved first, I was completely not looking at Dan Thompson.
I'm convinced he touched him first. It might have been just a light touch, and then obviously
A touch is a touch.
Batch just went.
A touch is a touch. Whoever's touched him first will be disqualified.
As the judge said to Dan Palmer the last time he was on trial.
Jason Edwards definitely moved first, but I don't think he touches him.
Harry May's not happy about something. And I can tell you, Batch will go off a 15-metre handicap, and Jason Edwards has also been warned.
Yeah, Jason Edwards definitely moved first, so that means that Batch and Dan Thompson will now swap gates. Batch will have to go off gate 3 on 15 metres.
He's surprised at that. I think Thompson's got away with one there.
I'd be really interested to see that again.
Hoping they do show a replay of that.
Batch is just loving life. He's having a laugh with Stuart Dixon.
He's like, it's alright, we've won the match. I'll go off 15, show them how it's done.
And Batch has looked quick tonight, so if anyone could win off 15, then he could do it, you know? We had to say it was the final time tonight, didn't we?
Yep, guess I'll have to do the lineup just one more time.
God. Well, if I ever suggest something as silly as watching a meeting from Plymouth again, someone tell me it's a bad idea.
Someone give you a slap.
Sorry to put in there, but I did kind of tell you this was going to be a bad idea.
Just wanted to watch some Speedway mush. And
Yeah.
Mr. Palmer talking sense for once.
there's no meetings tomorrow, is there? So
Otherwise, there was a meeting at 11.
We could make a meeting tomorrow.
Allen versus Palmer match race on Speedway Challenge.
Yes. Book it, Triple H. Book it.
Glad you said book it then. I thought you said something else.
I did as well, to be fair.
I don't know what
Palmer has
you're
let another
trying.
ref come out.
I don't know what you're trying to accuse me of. I am the ultimate professional at this job. Alan, I'll let you get on with your job for what could be potentially the last time tonight. And then I'll come back.
To
Yeah.
close us out. Troy Batchelor 15 metres back is basically on Ben 4.
Pretty much.
God,
The rerun for heat number 15 will see Dan Thompson in blue off gate 1, moving over from gate 3. Jason Edwards back off gate 2 in white. Off gate 3, well, I say off gate 3, off 15 metres from gate 3 in red is Troy Batchelor. And off the outside in yellow is Cook, whose name I nearly alluded to once again because I'm busy watching a tape getting made for old Batch in the 15 metres. Oh, look at the speed of this guy.
Go on, son.
Can you imagine if he fell over live on camera?
Oh, God. This is either going to go one of two ways for Batch. Either his race will be over in the first turn, or he'll be round the lot of them by the end of the first lap. So the start marshal's going to have to walk away and then run. And he's off. He's just about to get shot with shale, and it's a good start from the rider in blue, Dan Thompson, with the two Bandits guests in second and third at the moment. Batch is pretty much on terms with Zach Cook at the moment, though. He's got some speed. He's just going to wind it on around the boards and see what he can do. But he's pretty much made up the 15 metres after the first lap. Dan Thompson streaking away in the lead. Jason Edwards in second, and Zach Cook currently in third. Dan's riding nice and low on the inside to just ride defensive. Batch, he's over the back of the Berwick pairing, but the late stages there's not going to be much passing now. Yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. Coming round to start the final lap. Dan Thompson leads it from Jason Edwards in second, Zach Cook in third. Batchelor is all over the back of Zach Cook, but it's probably just going to be too much to ask for, and the last race of the night goes to Dan Thompson with the Bandits in second and third. Batch nearly wipes out Zach Cook off the last bend.
And that was a lovely win for the rider in blue, Dan Thompson. Second place to the rider in white, and Hume.
No,
The rider in yellow.
Jason Edwards was second.
Jason Edwards, sorry. Jason Edwards second. Zach Cook in third. Just. And Roy Batchelor at the back. That 3 each makes the final score 53 to the Plymouth Gladiators, 37 to the Berwick Bandits, and it's 95 to Plymouth, 84 to Berwick on aggregate. I think you got that spot on, did you not?
I said 54-36, I think.
You went far away.
That was close. Al, do you want to read out the individual scorers, and then we'll bring Palmer in to close the stream out?
Yep. And do. Oh, they were about to stop on screen, but they disappeared. Give me one little shot of a second. Put the old programme one more time. So for the Plymouth Gladiators, Troy Batchelor finished on 10+1 from 5. Alfie Votel finished on 7 from 5. Dan Thompson 13+2 from 6. Kyle Newman 8+3 from 5. Ben Barker obviously finished on 2 after withdrawing from his second ride due to injury. Joe Thompson finished on 11 from 5. Jacob Hook finished on 3+2. The Berwick Bandits, Lewis Kerr 10+1 from 5. Ethan Edwards 10+1 from 5. Hugh Kemp 3 from 4. Anyon Hume 2 from 4. Matt Cook 8+1 from 5. Freddie Horror 0 from 3. And Paul Stark 4 from 4.
Palmer, do you want to round us out, Mush?
Well, with how long that meeting took, I never thought you'd ask. But yeah, no, thank you to everyone that's tuned in to us this evening. We really appreciate you being with us tonight. We will be back on Thursday with Oxford Spires versus Ipswich Witches, which will be a more familiar sounds for those of you that do listen to us. But for me and the crew for tonight, it's a very good night.